up with my AP family? It's your boy LAPA coming through with another video. You guys already know what it is. Thank you guys for stopping by the channel. Appreciate you taking time out of your day. Hit the like, hit the subscribe if you feel it's worthy of it. As always, here to kick another cautionary stone for the youngsters, another cautionary tale, right? And for the reoffenders as well. This one that I have today, is a big story of caution. There's thousands of them throughout the system, especially in California. But I felt like I wanted to start telling some secondhand from individuals that I feel are trustworthy and they've been there, they've done that. Now, I was told this story by somebody that was in the know around that time from up there in Pelican Bay and everything. So here we go, man. As you could tell by that little the caption, that uña, that thumbnail, and then I got it in the bottom. NF member defects at Pelican Bay. I'm talking about Guero from Tulare. So from what I understand, man, this dude had the overall authority up there on Pelican Bay and everything at the time of this incident. And here we go. So yeah, man, they were in Pelican Bay B yard, upper yard, from what I understand. And homeboy was a porter. Guero the Tulare was a porter at the time. His Celly was Rojo from Salinas, from what I believe. And I believe they were on 5 block. And so yeah, the crazy part is that this dude had all the power in the world, right? I'm talking about a made NF member, dude that had ranking, a dude that, you know, if you have overall authority, I mean, you're doing something. And for those of you that know the Norteño program, they don't play around, man. They are very strict, very rigid in their program, you know, as far as writing essays and you know, the rutina, and as far as like having a policy of not doing drugs and things like that, which back then, from what I understand, it's not the case anymore. But you know, that was the case throughout the years that I did time with them on the mainlands. so this is what happened, man. Basically, yeah, Weddle was out there doing his thing, you know, and he was at this time. This was after the hunger strikes and everything. This happened around I want to say 2022, somewhere around there. Correct me if I'm wrong on the year, but it definitely happened after the hunger strikes and everything. Once these cats were on the yard for years already. And in Pelican Bay, you know, the NF members and the Mexican mafia members were you know, programming with each other, you know, doing business, you know, coexisting. And I guess Weddle had a little scheme going with either a stimulus or like the little tax fraud or whatnot. You know, he was getting, the point is that he was getting in, he was bringing in a lot of money. And you know, as far as their structure goes, just like the Emma structure goes, I mean, you're gonna have to kick some of that up to your partners, you know, to your carnales, to your fellow brothers. And you know, I guess he was doing that for a while and things like that. But the senores from the Emma were definitely after some of that money. So eventually homeboy ends up getting strung out. And the ones that are supplying the drogas, the clavo and everything, were Mexican mafia members up there. Now they are active still, so I'm not gonna say their names. I'm gonna refrain from that. But those that know, you know. And cats that were with them right there in the same spot knew they took that as a strategy. Not necessarily to bring down the NF or anything like that, or to subvert them in any way or anything like that. It was a strategy just to get feria. You know what I'm saying? Like, money is money. And they knew he had a little scheme going and everything. So they're like, hey, man, they kept feeding him. Not only that, but to gain any type of info, knowledge, you know, that would be beneficial to the MA and things like that. I'm just talking about as I was told, as far as what the strategy was up there and things like that. You guys be the judge. Obviously, I'm not going to tell a story that I don't feel that it's not factual or it's not correct. What is facts, of course, is what went on to happen. So eventually, homeboy from NF got strung out so bad to the point that he wasn't sending feria where it was supposed to be sent. And you gotta assume that his his brothers, his canales eventually were like, hey, where's it at, where's it at? Where what was that? It was he kept spending money, kept getting high, kept getting high, kept getting high. Rojo was a Celly at the time, and it got to the point where homeboy, he obviously was probably in trouble. He was in trouble, he wasn't sending Fed where it was supposed to be sent, and this is what went out to happen, to transpire. Um, he was a porter, and event he what he did, which I've heard a lot. Uh, I've seen dudes. I'm gonna tell a story later on some dude that I was gonna tell, but I ran into this story. The tactic that some dudes use, they get caught with fierros on purpose, and that's what happened with Guero. The consensus there in Pelican Bay, where it happened on BR, was that he went out one day. He used to go out every day. The cops knew him. He was a porter. For those of you guys that know the porter functions, the cops on the floor are not just gonna snatch you up randomly, especially if they know you're a porter. They ain't gonna mess with you over a fucking knife. So basically, what uh, the popular belief is that he went out there, whether he said something to the cop, I mean, he had to say something, right? They ended up patting him down, found him with the fierro so he could get snatched up. Like I said, he probably felt the walls closing in, and at any given moment, his brothers would have sent word over there to like, hey, go ahead and take care of this dude. You know what I'm saying? And obviously, he had probably, for him to do something that drastic, um, obviously he knew something was up, right? So they snatched him up. He went to the back and all that. He left his Celly Rojo there. Last name Lopez, from what I was told. And for Salinas. And homeboy stayed there. He stayed there, man. He stood on his feet, 10 toes down, whatnot. From what I understood, the dude was a little arrogant about it, like, hey, how dare you question me about that? That's probably that's his business. That's this, that's that. I don't know nothing, man. I don't get involved in the brother and the brothers willing and dealings, anything like that. Um, and obviously, if you're his Celly for that long, or you're a Celly for a good amount of time, they weren't hearing that, So they put him on freeze. From what I understand, when the Norteños put you on freeze, they have usually one or two dudes follow you around everywhere, on the yard, on the track, everywhere you go. Why? So that you won't check in. And that's what he was arrogant about. Like, man, why you escorting me for? Like, why you put him on freeze? Why you got me this and that? I'm still here, ain't I? And eventually word came down. Word came down that not only that probably Guero's actions were fishy. From what I heard, when he was in the back, he ended up getting transferred somewhere, which is fishy in and of itself, because you're not going to get transferred if you just get caught with a fierro. You know what I'm saying? You're going to stay there, do your shoot term, and get kicked out back to the bay, to the main line. And I know this because Corcoran was a trap when I was in New Corcoran. Like, most dudes were in New Corcoran as well for 15, 20, 30 years, because it was a trap. They had a shoe, they had a hole, they had a level 3, they had a level 4 270, they had a 180. So you were just big rotunda. You could never leave that prison. Pelican Bay is similar, especially for one of those individuals, right? So obviously, eventually, word ended up coming down, and somebody had to pay the price, and that landed on Rojo. So Rojo's neighbors were Caballo from Tulare, which was where Guero was from, and then a Bomber from Woodland. And yeah, man, Rojo ended up getting a new Celly, and his Celly ended up being a porter. So that's probably planned, honestly. That's probably planned. I don't know about this. I wasn't told this, but me just assuming maybe like these dudes are full of tactics. And a dude who's the big homie just checked in or is under suspicion or whatnot, that just suddenly left, especially when he was under question for whatever feria. All of a sudden, his Celly gets a porter. Come on, man. Porters got movements and things could be done. So word came down, Rojo had to go. he needs to be unalived, right? He needs to be dead. And so the porters used to get cracked right there around 12:30 ish, and that's what ended up happening this day. The dude that's in the know was very close to one of the cats that ended up going on the alley, and he let him know, like, hey man, I'm gone. It is what it is. We gotta take this dude out. So yeah, man. The porter asked the tower, the tower cracked his door open for his holly. Hey, lunchtime, after lunch type shit. Go over here, bam, bam, go out there, clean the freaking day room, push the push broom, all that bullshit. Do your thing, clean the phones, whatnot, right? Run around, probably laundry day, whatever it was. So this dude, the towers, once count clears or close custody count clears and things like that, the towers release A section, B section, C section porters, and then they release whoever they need to release for phone calls, A, B, C section phone calls. This was B section from what I understand on the top tier. And yeah, man, the porter, when they popped his door open, he told the tower, like, hey, give me a second, let me grab my stuff. And so the cop went out to the next section, let out. But the thing was that he opened up the porter's door, and he also opened up the neighbor's door, which was Bombers and Caballos. Bomber from Woodland, Caballo from Tulare. They signed up for a phone call at the very same time, so that they could handle their business, so they could run up in the cell and do their thing. And in order for those of you that know, usually they try to let the porters out first. They let them out, they close the door, and then they come back for phone calls, or they don't do two at the same time. Sometimes they do. For the most part, they don't. But I'm thinking, since homeboy said, hey, hold on, let me get my things together, he was stalling so that the door could stay open. So the tower's probably like, fuck it, I'm just going to let these dudes out for a phone call. And that's what he did. He opened up the cell door right next door to a Rojo and his Celly and Caballos and Bomber cell. So opened up the two doors. Cop went to the other side, to the A section, whatever. He kept walking. First someone comes out, boom, goes in there. I believe it was Bomber that went in there first. Boom. Starts doing his thing. Caballo goes in there after him. Boom. And they proceed to handle their business. And from what I understand, this is the real raw part about it. Is you could hear boom, 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 boom. Anybody that's been in one of those cells, when you bang the stool or any metal, the stool or the desk on those cells, that reverberates. You could hear it throughout the tier. It rumbles. So when there's three dudes in there, two dudes and one dude is the victim trying to get got, boom, 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 getting stabbed, you're going to hear that shit. So eventually, the tower, so old boy Rojo started yelling, tower, tower, tower. He was yelling for his life, screaming for his life. They kept getting on him, boom, 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 boom. And as I was told, this dude, and he's crazy because I know this is true because I've seen situations like that. When somebody's getting killed, at first they start yelling, tower, loud, tower, loud, tower, and it starts dimming. Tower, tower, tower. That's exactly what it sounded like from what homeboy told me. His voice started getting lower and lower and lower. And him and the Celly next door were like, damn, they're killing this dude. They're fucking killing this dude. In their mind, like, damn, they're killing this one, And at the time, they're with that, when you get caught in that mentality and you're there, you assume automatically that this dude's getting got for a reason. He has it coming, right? That's that gang mentality, right? And so you're like, get that dude. I've been there. I've done that, back when before I had a prisoner's awakening, right? And so eventually, man, the cop, like halfway through it, he just seen something. He heard something, and he tells the floor cop in the bottom. So the in the 180s, the tower on the top has little windows with a couple bars, a window that they could talk down to the office where the other two floor cops are. The COs that are actually walk the floor. There's usually two of them on shift. He went down there. He told, well, he opened up the little thing, or through the thing, he told him like, "Hey, babe, go B section. Go check out what's going on." The cop goes into the section, and he goes in there, and then these dudes and this is how diabolical this shit is, right? Because I know exactly this type of shit that happens, man. I've done it before. But anywho, the camaradas, but whether it be norteño, sureño, anywho, they start when they see the cop come in, they're hearing this dude call tower, tower. So what they do is get on the tier and try to talk to other cells so they can muffle the sound. As this dude is getting killed, they get on the tier. Hey, homie, hey, want to start it or whatever, like, hey, how you doing, homie? Whatever the hell they said, that's what they said, right? So when the cop walks in, he just hears, he hears a bunch of dudes talking to each other and all that, and he's like, I don't care. Whether he thought it was weird or not, I thought it was weird, like that's not something that if I walk into you're not gonna have several cells talking over each other on the tier. It's disrespectful. But I guess the cop didn't give a shit or whatnot, or he just didn't know enough. So he starts walking back, and right before he gets out the door, Rojo found the last breath, not the last breath, but a big breath, and said, "Tower!" And that's when the cop heard him, and he's like, "What the fuck?" And he starts going up the stairs, walked up the stairs. And as soon as he got to the top, he looked in the cell, seen what was happening, and that was a wrap. Boom, push the button. Get down. Started spraying him and all that. And that was that. They, the cavalry came, they snatched up the homies, whatnot, pulled this dude out, bloodied, got hit in the face, everything. Dude looked like he was dead. Straight up, bleeding everywhere from what I was told and everything. And I've seen that shit myself. Unfortunately, yeah, man, he got put on a stretcher, whatnot, got down, boom, to the stairs, boom. Miraculously, good for him. Unfortunately, he survived. He survived barely. I could only imagine what would have happened if this cat wouldn't have had the strength to yell out tower one last time. They would find him dead. You know what I'm saying? The crazy part too, from what I understand, is that the two camaradas, the two norteños, they were put on this jale. They were short to the house. They didn't have no more than 4 years, couple years, 5 years, 5 and under, and they were sending these cats to do this type of jale and everything, straight murder. And it was one of the things that was my situation. I put in work, this stabbings and everything. But when they wanted me to kill my Celly, I said, I was done with the cause. I'm cool. I'm 2 years to the house. At the time, 2 years to the house. You want me to do this? I could do it. I'm not going to do it. I'm going home to my family, and I don't believe in this fucking cause. And it just comes to show you that the actions of one man, a Nuestra Familia member, which ended up being confirmed that this dude defected, and that's why he defected. Guero from Tulare. Like I said, he had the overall authority up there. Like I said, those of you that in the know, you're gonna be familiar with the story. I was related the story from somebody that was there that was very trustworthy. And you guys already know, I'm not going to speak on something that I don't believe to be the truth. So for any of you that want to clarify anything that you feel there's a discrepancy or anything like that, or even add details, the final point to me, the moral of the story is, youngsters out there, real offenders, this is the type of shit that you could get caught up in, that motherfuckers like me and others got tired of. There's no point in that lifestyle. There's no future in that lifestyle. Rojo almost got killed because of the actions of his Celly. You know what I'm saying? And because out of the wrath of them not being able to take that dude out because he checked in, whatever he was doing, his Celly ended up reaping the fucking consequences. How's that fair? You know what I'm saying? And now, with that being said, guys, hit the like, hit the subscribe. Appreciate you guys tapping in. Hope you guys like the video. I got more videos like this coming, including my own experiences as well, which is the majority. And I'll see you on the next one. You guys be good. Hit them likes. Oh, another thing too, guys, if you stay to the end, I had questions about the videos that I took off and everything. Any video that you see that's recent or whatnot, if you don't see it on there no more, It's because I'm putting it on the membership only. The membership guys that I have, shout out to the few members that I have. You guys are the backbone. You know what helps me be able to do this more than working, and that way I could bring stories to you guys and everything, and we could reach the youth and everything. You guys be good. I'm outie.